Alrighty, guys, what is going on? Corbin with Corbin's Cornhole Review is back again for another episode, and today we have the WTF Cornhole Kilos. Before we get into it, I do have two sponsors. Thank you very much, Black Sheep Baggers and the Cornhole Cave, blacksheepbaggers.com. Boards, barrels. Wow, I wish that barrels would be sweet. Bags, boards, accessories, apparel, all that good stuff. Their customer service is top notch, so use code Corbin5 for 10% off there. Also, the Cornhole Cave, brick and mortar out of Wichita, Kansas. So go to his store, check out his boards, check out his bags, grab a t-shirt while you're there, talk to the owner, really, really nice guy. Same for next day shipping for his website. That is linked down below as well. And I do have a Patreon if you are so inclined. So the WTF Kilo, hopefully I can get through without too much wind. I mean, it's so oddly gusty today. It's weird. Fall day in Michigan. What are you going to do, right? But the Kilo, man, I tell you what, before I was like super into Wizards, these kind of had my number one spot. They still stay in my bag for the most part, but not all the time, if that makes sense. They're bouncy, they're fun, they flop and roll very, very easily. I mean, I featured them in my how to roll video, obviously. They're great bags. They're still really friendly. They're just they're different. You got to get used to them. The fill is the weirdest part with them. But we'll get into it. Start with price. Price on these, I want to say they're like, that's fine. I think they're like 85 or 90 bucks. WTF keeps pretty decent prices. They might even be 80. I don't quote me on that one though, because that's probably not right. But WTF does pretty decent prices. Sub 100, I believe. And again, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. You're pretty much paying 100 bucks for pro bags these days, regardless. So almost a moot point at this point in the venture. But anyway, price. There it is. We're done. Break-in method. Toss sauce carpet muncher. A little bit of wrinkle guard in there. That's what I like to do. Make them a little bit softer. It's just my personal preference. If you like toss sauce, shop tosssauce.com. Corbin 10 for 10% off for you. Save you a little bit of money while you're saucing. I think it did a really good job. Now, these bags specifically, I broke them in and they were still puffballs. And it's just the materials, it's the fill, it's everything. Like, I had to throw them for weeks before they started to settle in. Like, my buddy, he's actually thrown in videos with me, Kyle. He's throwing in a local video with me. You're not Kyle. No, a different Kyle. But no, not yours. But he literally rolled. Yes, the cornhole one.
I met him.
I know he did. He literally rolled 5 bags with this. Like, we had 5 bags in a line. He threw a roll and it hit down here and rolled over. All 5 went in the hole. So just super, super puff balls to start. But then once they get settled in, broken in a little bit, they become really, really nice, really, really playable. So just so you're aware. But speeds on these guys, essentially 5 on the slow, 9 on the fast. Obviously, that changes a little bit with humidity, being carpet and stuff, but for the most part, 5.9 is pretty accurate. And brings us into our 3Fs. We got fill, feel, and flop. So the fill is the most difficult part about this bag to get used to. That's just the way it is. WTF fill is a little bit different, and these are just, I can't even fully explain it. It's like disc, little baby bead, something. I don't know. It's so hard to explain. It's very odd. And once you get used to it, it's fine. It's just not, like, you pick it up and you're like, whoa, that feels weird. Like, yes, it does, but if you're used to it, you throw it for a little bit, you totally get used to it, and it's not a problem anymore. So if you do want to grab a set of these, just give them a chance, because that fill is going to throw you off at first, just so you know. Overall feel is good, though. Corner seam edges are good. The corners are a little more square than I expected, honestly, but he has this nice, WTF has this nice closing stitch around the whole outside. Not closing stitch, but the whole stitch around the outside is really, really nice. I can show it down there, but that's just what he does. But the overall quality is fantastic. I mean, it always has been. WTF makes a really, really nice bag. Do not get Play-Doh on my bags, please. They've always made a really nice bag. You're dropping Play-Doh. Can you scoot over there?
Yes.
And then overall, flop.
Something real quick.
Hurry up.
You need to mow the grass.
I know I do. Overall flop. They're not going to be crazy, crazy floppy, because they are a very full carpet bag. So if you like something super full, these might be kind of right up your alley. So we'll get into playability. Blocks, pushes, cuts, flops, rolls, air mails, sneak around and drop, mostly fast side. But the fast side on these bags, I will say, because they're so bouncy, you have to not throw your pushes as hard as you want to. Because if you throw a push hard, you can entirely land on the board and bounce over what you're trying to push. So I've seen it happen. Just throwing it out there. So without further ado, let's just throw. I'm not making a squish. I gotta throw. So, as Kai just said, I do have to cut the grass. I haven't been cutting the grass because they decided to rip up like almost our entire front yard. So why am I going to cut just the backyard? But no one sees, because I just don't really care. That's what it is. So let's toss them a little bit, chuck them. Going to go all slow side to start, as per usual. Speed-wise, they play really nice. I like that I can just lay a first bag block without any sort of effort. Every bag that you throw on these, I will say, you're gonna have to get used to it. Just trying to go really roll there. They kind of hop when they hit the board a little bit. It's not necessarily a real nice smooth slide. Every time they hit the board, they do hop, and that makes them very easy to roll, pretty easy to cut, easy to flop, whatever. But get up, Corbin. That's what I was talking about with the pushes, because they have that natural tendency to hop, and then if you're throwing them really hard, they're just going to hop over whatever you want to push. So I will say these bags are challenging. If you're trying to learn how to push bags, I'm not sure I would go with these because it's hard to get used to how to push with these, and it took me a while as well. And we'll see if if I can get myself in a situation where I need to make a push. It was challenging. I don't know why. It might just be the bag. It might just be me. I think it's the fill and the material combo. But I talked to Kyle Butler. He's really big into his WTF bags. Pretty big advocate there. And he said you just have to throw them a little bit softer. Don't throw that push as hard as you think you need to, because it will hop. If you throw it just a little bit softer, there's a good chance you're probably going to take them both in anyway. So that's pretty good advice, and I started doing that. And it did work. I was throwing my pushes way too hard. So let's go fast and throw them off the board. Units Viper fast. Everyone knows it. I should know it by now. Should be used to it. It goes. But they do play a little bit. I want to say they play a little bit faster than like normal bags. I can get Viper R's to stop. These, a little bit of trouble. And I think it's mostly due to the fill, because they give you that little bounce to start, and then the fill just kind of wants to keep going. It just helps the bag move. That's why I've always kind of said that carpet bags and stuff like that, they're a little more full. They're easier to push than floppy taco bags. And everyone's like, well, why shouldn't those be easier to push? The speeds are a lot quicker, and they should be easy to push. It's like, well, yeah, but once they run into the bag that you're trying to push, you kind of just squish, and they don't do anything. There's our closing scene let's talk about. All around the entire bag. He's always done that. It's nice. This one's just black. This bag's just kind of black and white. Keep it a little tame. Some of his other ones are a little more colorful. He puts a nice, don't know why I went slow side there, sorry. He puts a nice little accent color on there sometimes, which is a pretty cool touch, I think. But it's got to take some extra, very friendly, some extra work, I would think, to be able to do that around the whole outside of the bag, because I'm guessing that he's also, unless that is the inner stitch, that he just moves to the outside. I don't know. Whatever it is cool. It's kind of a decorative piece, but at the same time, that makes it a little harder to break in, because you have to get those corners to start coming out. Yes, I can open the door. Just makes it a little harder for those corners to come out and to really stretch out, and to get, nice and loose, nice and friendly. So, apologies for that little delay there. Peanuts doing a thing. You guys are used to it by now, but hey, it is what it is. We got a nice day. It's like toward the end of September right now. No idea when this video will be posted. It could be January. I don't know, but nice day at the end of the year. One of our last nice days, I'm sure. So let's do a little alternating here. See what happens. That was not pretty. So first bag, I'm going to try to flop over it. Second bag, I am going to try to collect it. That was hideous. I don't know what I did. I'm going to flop again, actually, because that was weird. I threw it way too hard. It's better. More of a cut than a flop, which is fine. It's what I meant to do anyway. But try to collect it. Throw nice and light. And no follow through. Throw to the left. Miss the board. Welcome to playing Cornhole with Corbin. Do this all the time. Doing games, do all that stuff. I know exactly what I need to do, and then I don't do it. So, life of an amateur, right? That's okay. So, see if we can do something a little better down here. Maybe. Either side by side or go right in. Actually, I'm going to slither around on the fast side. Kind of like so. Now go slow side, go add it a little bit. Try to bring that corner a little closer. Not really sure I did it. Okay. Go fast out again. Try to run into it and go into the hole. Kind of like that. I guess I should have done that first time. I should have done that twice. But then if you're coming in at this angle, you're going to hit this bag. You're going to push out of the way anyway. I mean, it is what it is. Essentially a dead bag unless your opponent's going to push you a little closer, which is fine. I like leaving the lane side blocker because if I do, then they have to get around it and I don't. And I'll take my 2 points. That's fine. But typically how I like to play. But let's do a final down and back here. They're easy to throw, and I got used to the fill. A lot of people that have thrown them are like, I can't get used to that. Like, okay, I understand. It's just give yourself a chance. Get used to it. Let them get a little more stretched out. Let them get a little softer. Figure them out. Because look at that. They're just something about them. And these bags, there's something about these. I forgot to bring this up. They airmail drag like nobody's business. If there's any piece of that bag around the hole, it just wants to take it. And I don't know why. It just does. But they're nice. It's just they're one of those bags that you have to be on when you're throwing them. Because if you're off just a little bit, man, they'll punish you. Because they're not the most forgiving bag. But when you're on, they are fun. See? And they are just a fun bag to throw. Look at that. Just the little pop. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's end it up with an airmail. I'd love to drag that. Actually, if it's a short airmail, I might be able to see what happens. But try to throw it short. Too short. That's what happens. That's okay. WTF kilo. Man, every time I throw them, I'm like, I like them, but they don't always come out of the bag. There's other stuff I like just a little bit more, but they definitely have their place. They're a really nice bag. I like how they play. If you want to learn how to flop and roll, get these, get wizards, stuff like that. It's just, you got to get used to them a little bit. That's all it is. You got to get used to them. You got to get comfortable with them, and then they're a really, really, really quality bag. Solid, fun to throw. So anyway, there's the short and sweet on the WTF kilos. If you guys like this one, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your buddies, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.